meeting to order. So I guess it says pledge, so pledge. Just in case. Oh, this is the. It's fine, that's fine. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. See, so you call the roll, please.
Councilmember Terrence Fennelly,
Present.
Councilmember John Casey,
John is necessarily absent.
Deputy Supervisor Adeline Rudolph,
Present.
Councilmember David Sauter,
Dave Sauter is necessarily absent.
Supervisor Jared Simpson.
Supervisor Jared Simpson is necessarily absent. Yeah, I believe Dave and Jared will be zooming in at some point. Do you know if John is planning to zoom or anything? I'm not sure where he is.
Not sure where he is. Yeah, I thought he was back, but
Okay,
I haven't seen him talk to us.
yeah, I haven't either, so. Okay, cool. So we will just proceed as follows. I think we can skip right over all of the reports of town officials unless anybody wants to say anything in that section that they haven't already put in the agenda. All right, funky, cool. So budget transfers. You don't have any questions on that, right? The new road tractor. I want you to just explain that a little bit, Jim, because my main question was, we talked about it in finance, the new road tractor. So we're taking what was budgeted for the snowplow and paying for the road tractor because that can't be encumbered again, correct? How are we budgeting for the snowplow now? Like, what are we doing?
In the 2025 budget.
Okay, so we put that just straight up as a new line item in the budget, so,
Yes,
and this is the encumbered funds, got it. So the whole point of this is it's essentially just buying a new road tractor. So it's like putting the new road tractor funds in the budget. Essentially, is where.
yeah, essentially, we've been asking for a number of years to
Yeah.
replace it, and instead of paying out money for years out and purchase this equipment now and get that replaced.
I just want to make sure that we still had the money coming in for the snowplow. I assumed you did, but.
You need to skip over the easement agreement. I don't-
Budget transfers, oh, the easement agreement. Did you have any questions on that?
No, I did one.
Oh, yeah, I didn't mean to skip over that. Thank you for noticing it. So, because I was reading the other one. That first one was really short. Yeah, what is that? Where is that on Middle Cheshire, Jim?
That is just south of Terry Finelli's house, on the east side of Middle Cheshire Road. It's the old
Okay,
Snyder property.
okay,
So it's to allow the town to build a very long shallow berm to divert water to the roadside ditch and to get into 19th Gully versus
okay.
the inability to convey it from behind houses and on Wells Curtis and 16.
Yeah, so that's gonna help Wells Curtis over there too. I saw the was it last week's storm? There was a lot of washout on the driveways on Wells Curtis too. So, okay, great. So we're just building a berm there, and then this indicates that if the land is sold for a non-agricultural purpose, they could potentially change the swale arrangement.
Yeah, we didn't want to necessarily hold them
Yeah.
hostage to the future of the development of that land, if there is. But
And he's not asking for compensation, which
No.
is very nice, so that's good.
Who would be building the berm?
the town will,
So there will be some cost. So
yeah,
you
what's the cost?
Use
Involved.
material on site or? if you're-
Yes, we use material on site.
So it's gonna
It's just
bisect
equipment
the
and labor.
field, roughly gonna bisect the field east to west.
Correct.
So the southern side of that. then
Oh,
is still
east, west,
going
it's
to-
not going north, south, okay.
No, east, west, because the terrain
You're
runs.
pulling it out to the gully.
runs
so-
Out to the
Well,
roadside
the
ditch.
ditch, yeah.
But it drops off to the south, so you're still gonna have that behind people on Old Curtis Road. An area that, unless they keep it in A or
So it's all going back to alfalfa.
going to stay.
Yeah, we've met the property owner, myself and Kevin had, and it's going to stay in alfalfa. We hope we plant it here soon. We have money to pay for it soon.
You pay a fee to do it.
Pete's just gonna do it, and John Nope's letting them borrow the equipment to do it.
Now you just have to move up the road a little bit.
We've had discussions with those people also.
Right,
It just, everything takes a little time.
thank you.
You good? Thanks. I have I was making little highlighter marks everywhere where there's a reso, and I didn't have a highlighter mark on that one, so thank you, Jerry. All right, road tractor, water meters, is that in this year's budget or we're adding?
So it's in this year's budget currently in the water
Okay.
for to replace 1,000 meters.
Yeah.
At this time, as we talked to finance.
Yeah.
Due to the length of time to
Smart.
get them and to not have to pay another increase in 25. It was suggested that we discuss this or purchase them now.
Yeah.
In budget form in the 25 budget.
Okay, so it's coming from, what's the
It's
SW, what is that one, do you know?
8310.
Yeah, 8310 dot 200, do you know what that is?
So that's a capital.
Okay. I'm probably gonna have you explain it
That's fine.
on Monday,
Monday.
so. Any questions on the volunteer firefighters, local law, public hearing? Same with the form-based code one, any questions? Okay, what's this one? Instruction codes. What is this one? Is this you?
Chapter
213?
Yep.
Yeah, I didn't read through this
Yep,
one.
that's the chapter 92 that we discussed at ordinance that I sent out the final draft of with the changes.
Got it. Oh, there, I see chapter 2. Okay. Will you or somebody from your office be at the Monday meeting in case people have questions?
Okay.
I'll reach out to you then if people do, so obviously we're good from ordinance on that one. Text code amendment, chapter 520. Oh, the detached private garages and outside of the RLD. We already discussed that in ordinance, any questions? Uptown landing incentive, so why do we have to, does anybody know why we had to declare an intent? It's just a secret one, there's another one in here somewhere that's like. Saying that we're willing to consider, willing to further consider, like, is that like a legal thing, you have to be willing to further consider?
Says it in town code. The
Yeah.
only thing I don't understand about this resolution is. You guys don't have a local law yet, so you're setting a public hearing on I don't know what.
Exactly,
But, If, yeah, I don't know.
so,
Usually during, like with a resolution like this, at this point, when we're doing a rezone, there's already a local law drafted.
Yeah.
Yes, with incentive zoning, it's a lot more difficult because the local law is way more involved and intricate than like the one for the Campbell property.
Yeah.
Which is really basic. But
there's nothing to be publicly heard about yet, because there's nothing written.
I mean, I wasn't really involved in this part. I don't know what.
Is this,
The discussion
Nadler
was
wanted
to
this
get
on
this
there, or-
going. I guess maybe it was a conversation with Vladimir and Jared, I don't know, I did, email both of them and say, can we do this? Why are we doing this? There's no local law, is this too early? And, Nadler said, actually, by state law, you can set a public hearing without a draft law available, as long as it's available
Before the public hearing.
several day, a certain number of days before the public hearing actually
Okay.
happens. I don't really have answers on this one.
So-
This is not the process I'm used to, but incentive zoning, none of us are used to.
Yeah.
We haven't done it fully since the Phyllis.
Jared, are you on now?
Yeah, I am. If I can chime in on this one, the main reason we're doing this is to allow them to move, forward with the process pending approval from the planning board. So we get the positive from the planning board, they have that month. Then we're still moving forward and we don't have a delay. They're not held back on this end of the process. It just keeps things moving. And we're saying they made application to the planning board. The planning board is reviewing. we're moving it forward because we have to meet the time deadlines. So everything falls into place, and then next month we'll be able to have the public hearing. And we'll declare lead agency. So they're not waiting until after the public hearing to reach out to interested parties. That happens a little sooner, just accelerates the timeline a little. It doesn't let them get away with anything. It doesn't do anything as far as giving them any real special privileges. All it does is keeps things moving to fit within their window. So they're not held back 30, 60, 90 days and delay the project exponentially on the back end.
Do we know when, what the day is that we have to have that? That we have to have the public hearing draft law ready for? If we're setting the public hearing for September 23rd? Do we know when we have to have something ready for the public to review for that?
I would have to defer to Nadler on
All right,
that
I'll
one. As
double
far
check with,
as far
I'll
as the
get that info.
details, yeah, I've been working on this. The thing with form-based, with a change in form-based code is that we don't have it's new for us. It's a new area. We haven't done it very much. And it doesn't follow perfectly in line with some of the other zoning changes that we have. So that's why there's a little bit of this flexibility or gray area, and causing some of that, kind of, Sarah was talking about that uncertainty. It causes some of that because it's not black and white. There's more gray within the rezoning for the incentive zoning, the way it's written. So we'd have to defer on Nadler.
I'll
as
find
far as
out.
when we need to have that published and out there, so it's in front of the public in time for the public hearing. That pending everything falling through and falling into place.
We might also get, you know how I personally have always appreciated when we had a project tab on the website. I think it might be time to do a project tab for what's available publicly on this incentive zoning thing, just so that everything can be found there, especially with this instance, because if we're gonna do a local law, that could be in there so that it's out before the agenda and the public has a chance to review. But I will check with Nadler when we have to have that available and make sure that we have it available by then, so.
Well, it seems we had, and it's gonna be on the September 23rd meeting, whatever the deadline.
Yeah.
for.
But it might be earlier than that, I don't know, I'll find out. So,
So we can
Convoluted to me.
There's one thing you guys need to keep in mind is the incentive zoning law in town code is very clear that, just like any other rezoning, you preliminarily approve the local law to do the rezoning before it goes to the planning board. Then it goes through the planning board process, and then you come back and do the final official approval of the local law rezoning. And that's when the actual law is adopted and the clerk makes the note on the official town zoning map. But it does state in the local law that the town board cannot make a decision until the county planning board has reviewed it. So my question is gonna be next Tuesday after this town board meeting, what am I sending to the county planning board? And if we don't have something to send, then you won't be able to make any preliminary decisions at the September town board meeting. You have to keep that in mind.
Sarah, when's the deadline? When's the deadline for that? For planning board?
For the September county planning board meeting, the deadline would be next week sometime.
Okay. So we would have to have that punched in and ready to go by next week.
And
Yeah,
if-
Nadler.
Well, and that's the other thing, that the local law has to have all the details ironed out and specific for all the amenities and incentives and stuff. So if you're not ready for that, then you're probably not ready to write the local law.
Right. So I guess part of the thought of doing this is we're allowing them to, to keep moving forward. And again, if there's a deadline missed, at the end of the day, there's a deadline missed if we're not to that point yet. And we just have to bump it back. We just have to bump it back to the next meeting, and we just have to move it back. But at least we're doing the best that we can to help continue with the timeline that they need. and continue the process that they need. And again, yeah, if they miss the, if everything's not in time for the planning board meeting, if we don't have that final application, if the planning board hasn't, if our planning board hasn't chimed in on the amenities and where they feel they are with that, then it might bump it back to the next month.
I think
Which
too,
is, which is fine. We're just doing due diligence to try to help with the process. And if it has to move back, it has to move back.
well, and I think too, you know, we may not close the public hearing on the 23rd. We might have public still having more comments on it. And I mean, I like that we're having the opportunity for the public to be commenting when this is kind of an active project and it brings it to their attention too, for the planning board as well. So, because it is something obviously we want to get some public comment on. It's a pretty significant development in our town. So,
And that's
So,
an
yeah.
excellent point, Adeline, to have a public in before they feel like, oh, it's a done deal. That they're in the front end. Sue, can you make a note too to put a projects tab on the agenda? I'm sorry, on the website. Then we can start populating things with that. We can start populating that next week with more detail.
Well, in the vein of wanting the public to be well informed on this, I would think that we would keep it moving, but do it according to our procedures and not appear to be favoring somebody in this process. And that's what it looks like to me.
well, that's what I'm thinking, maybe if we just, if there's a question, we just continue the public hearing so that there's more opportunity for
Well, as
input.
long as we have all the information, but in order to send this to the Ontario County Planning Board,
Yeah.
Nadler's gonna have to have the document completed by maybe Monday or Tuesday next week.
It's usually, their deadline's usually on a Thursday. I don't have their
Okay,
calendar
Thursday
in
of
front of
next
me,
week.
but it's usually at the end of the previous month. So for the September meeting, it'll be next week.
Well, I
Right.
feel like if we don't have that, we should still have the public hearing, let the public start being heard and say, and we're gonna continue this until we have our comments back from the county. If
Yeah.
we, you know, if we miss.
You can always say we
so.
don't have all the information presented.
Mhm.
Yeah,
But
and I
I-
wasn't suggesting you shouldn't be discussing it at a town board meeting.
No, of
You
course not.
certainly
Yeah.
should.
No.
But I just.
It's
What
a-
am I sending?
It's
You
a
know?
really important point, and I'm glad you're
We
bringing
don't
up.
have it.
I feel like for this size of this project, we have to have 2 public hearings, even better. Like, I would rather have one where we're not 100% ready and then have another one where we are 100% ready, just to get the conversation started, you know, everybody on it and with us as well, because I mean, both the
Yeah.
county and the public will bring up stuff that we haven't thought of. So,
Yeah.
so I think that's
So,
a positive.
right. So Terry, what, you mentioned that you don't want it to seem like they're getting that we're kind of bending things to them.
No,
Do you have any
want-
Do you have any
We've been
examples
accused
of that?
before.
So we can, do you have any examples so we can look at those and make sure that we're not? Because I agree with you 100%.
I didn't come prepared with examples today, no.
Okay,
I'm just saying, as I said in an email a couple of weeks ago, I think we should be diligent and moving this along. So we should be doing our due diligence at the same time, making sure that the process is being conducted according to our written guideline.
right.
Not to
And I
put
think-
you on the spot, Sarah, but
No, it's fine.
you don't sound like you've been heavily involved in this all along.
No, And the only
You've
thing
been
I-
meeting with, when these meetings are being held with, Jeff Cook and, Dave Christa and,
I've been to one, and then the ones when they came to the planning board last week, I was at that one.
it seems like as a town planner, you should be intimately involved to me.
My other thing to remind everybody is that they can't apply for site plan approval from the planning board without that local law. Because that local law has all the details of the specific agreements for incentive zoning. So putting this public hearing resolution doesn't mean they can go apply for site plan approval with the planning board. So it's not going to speed up that process. We did already get, the planning board did listen to their presentation of their meeting on the 13th, August 13th. And the planning board was comfortable with their advisory report. Chris hasn't finished the report yet, but, we will have that, so they don't need that full 45 days that they are allowed to take, they don't need it, so the report's already being drafted. So that should help the board.
Mhm. So where in this process, like, so my question more holistically, we've talked before about how, they need to make some adjustments. There's probably a need for a little less density in certain areas and potentially, pocket park somewhere, things like that. Where in this process does that sort of stuff happen? That's happening with the planning board, correct? After
Depends
we've
on if it's
approved?
an amenity or not.
Okay.
It depends on if it's part of the agreement between the applicant and the town board.
Got it.
I mean, my understanding of the incentive zoning process is as new as everyone else's. I've never been involved in one before, but when you rezone and you write the local law to change the zone of a parcel, like, for example, we've seen the ones for the mixed use overlay,
Yep,
there's setbacks.
yep.
Like to the foot and inch in
Okay.
that local law. I wouldn't imagine it would be different in incentive zoning, defining, because one of the incentives they're asking for is to be able to have a smaller lot size, we all know that. We have those dimensions defined already, that sort of thing, the
Yep.
front setback they're seeking. That sort of thing is gonna have to be written into the
Into
local
the-
law, because the local law is defining a brand new zoning district that doesn't exist anywhere else. And just like any other zoning district in the town, there's open area requirements, there's specific uses, there's all of that stuff is going to be part of this local law. Without that local law, the planning board will not review that site. They can't and they won't.
Yeah.
So, this
I'm
keeps the
just trying-
conversation going, but they can't go back to the planning board yet.
I'm just trying to figure out if that conversation is part of approving the incentive zoning law,
Yes,
or if that conversation is part of the final planning board review.
both, but it has to happen with the town board first. I mean, now that you correct me if I'm wrong, but my understanding is no, it has to happen now.
Okay,
Yeah, we can't approve we need to know what the amenities are, and that's why, I think the process and what Sarah's been outlining is it's dead on, because these are the steps that they have to take, and I think we're following those steps right along, because the planning board has to see it, and then they'll say, well, these are the amenities this is what you're offering for amenities, and 9 out of 10 amenities are, but 1 out of those is actually something that you have to do, so take that off the amenity table, put that onto the requirement table, and now we have to come up with another amenity. So it is that back and forth process. So I think we're on that correct trajectory and that correct now for this project.
well, I think no matter what, there's gonna be at least 2 public hearings on this.
100%. 100%.
So I think we should kind of go into it with that understanding, because I would not be ready to say, looks good to me on Mondays. So I don't know if anybody else would be, but yeah, okay.
Because
Alright,
they
well-
got one last thing to add too. I mean, Farmington is chiming in with this too, because it's Farmington Water.
Yeah.
And they're asking them for things too, which then go into it's not that's not us asking, it's Farmington asking, so that's part of the discussion as well. They're asking them for another, oh, Sarah, you might have the number, remember this, it's like, I don't know if it's 500 feet of water line down 28 to extend towards 28.
Yeah, they discussed it at the PRC as would the applicant consider looping the water line up Parkside Drive to County Road 28 instead of what they're proposing to do now, which is going somewhere else and out to 332 or something.
There's 2 water mains on Emerson Road. There's a 16-inch and 8-inch, 16-inch of transmission main that's fed from the city. That feeds village and town of Manchester and up north of Farmington. So I'm assuming that they want to loop the 16-inch in their development.
Is that
Of
going east towards 28 would do?
They would do that, yes.
Okay, that's probably
That might be what they're talking.
Are they
Yeah,
creating a
either
redundancy
provide-
then? Is that what's?
They're pulling out the transmission meters, so there's the domestic heating
Oh,
for
okay,
future development.
got it, which makes a lot more sense, okay. So they're asking for that as an amenity as part of our incentive zoning process? I mean,
I think
No.
they need
They're-
water to actually build out.
okay. All right, so far we've been trying to
Just had
require
opinions
that,
On how it should be done.
got it. Okay. Any other questions? I know we'll have more. All right, the next one, 216 Paris Street Extension right of way. What's this, Jim? This is news to me.
Has to do with Pierce Brook B development. Had to do with current. Where the land, their new land meets the road. Had to do with. We need to give up a right of way for them to connect to it. I don't know the legal term of that, I'm sorry, but it was with Chris Dabbler on. Writing up the right of way agreement with them.
So we're making the right of way smaller?
No, it's still 60 feet wide. Has to do with the land going to the center of the road.
Okay. I feel like I still have questions.
Yeah, I was not.
So who's the main person on this,
I would
Nadler?
talk with Nadler.
Okay. Okay. All right, 217 water main and utility for Quail Bush Phase 3. Anything you want to say on that, Jim?
It's just the capital project we've completed this year, got rid of all the too much stuff.
Okay, cool. Pipe in if you have, if, I don't
I
wanna,
will.
Okay.
I tried.
I know, oh, really?
I used to be.
218, the water main Quail Bush again. Anything on that one?
Okay, that's a short section.
Yeah.
Of their last phase that they're dedicating to the town.
Okay. So these were, none of them were dedicated to the town before, right? Is that what it was? Cause I remember this was a big mess when I first came on the board.
But yes and no, I mean, it kind of read it. Now it is, and this is the last section.
Okay.
But it's-
219 soil erosion surety, surety, whatever. 219. It's a surety. Next one is Creekview Apartments, letter of credit acceptance for Woodland. Any questions? Tax levy limit is the next one. We're gonna have had the public hearing on it earlier in the meeting, so. You know, Terry probably doesn't have any questions on that one. I don't, I think some of our colleagues might. Full-time laborer, is that pronounced Rowan?
Rowan.
Rowan, okay,
Yep.
thanks. That's what I was
So
just.
he's an internal promotion. He was our
Yep.
transfer station
I see
operator,
that.
moved to labor.
Yep, see that, fabulous. What does a laborer do?
Whatever the next know.
They're the ones holding the flags, digging the ditches.
Breaking.
Yeah.
It's a great position. It's a stepping stone to a light MEO or
Okay.
MEO. So same path as like Jonathan or Brecken.
Got it.
Succession plan.
Adeline, labor is labor.
Thank you, Jared. I'm
And-
just checking.
Rowan was very excited about that. I saw him at a get together and he is so excited to be doing that.
That's
Just
great.
adding that in.
That's great. Awesome. And the next one is, obviously, that's the person moving around there, right? So that's the transportation operator, Peter Shuck.
Shut.
Yeah, okay. And he's moving into Rowan's position, is that what?
Well, Rowan's still working.
Oh, Rowan's doing
weekends,
both.
'cause we're still one short at the transfer.
Still
station.
one store, okay.
I just have Rowan on a 40-hour week, I just moved him around.
Because you're making him labor, got it. The student aid position, 224, I didn't know we were doing this, so what is this?
I would love to discuss that. So, as the town board is aware, we have a lot of documents that need to be digitized. And after looking through the budget and getting support from many department heads, including the town clerk, our lead code enforcement planner, myself. We have enough money to fund a temporary student aid position, so basically like an intern. To come in, we would train them on how to scan the documents, and if we're able to start now, that will set the town up for success once we start remodeling. Because we do have, I mean, rooms full of documents, but the first thing that we would like to start taking care of is the room upstairs where Jessica's office currently is with all the property files. If we get those digitized before our remodel is complete, then we don't have to worry about figuring out where the heck we're putting those cabinets. And if this position is something that works out and we're seeing productivity, it's something that could potentially, you know, be extended to maybe a 6 to 12 month position.
Okay. Cool. Do we have a school in mind that we're thinking about trying to partner with on that? or-
Not yet. First step is to have this approved and
Yep.
funded. Next step would be to most likely reach out to FLCC since it's the closest to us.
Okay, cool. 225, Christian Smith resigning. Any questions? 226 is, who's coming in?
It's for a salary amount.
Oh, this is for Tammy,
Tammy.
yeah. So I don't know if you have any questions. I think the reso speaks for itself. Tammy's great, so.
Yeah, and this is specifically related to duties that she's performing have
Taking
changed since we hired her.
Yeah.
I feel like they're a higher level. She should deserve to be paid for it. And she, excuse me, takes a lot of initiative to help with things before we ask her to. And she started helping with some things. Part of this is because Kristen left, but she started helping with some things that we didn't anticipate that she would help with, but I'd like to continue that, so.
Including finance. So I know as a town board, there's been a lot of discussion about succession planning, having a backup, and Tammy has expressed sincere interest in finance. She's taken accounting classes. Has, you know, worked with Jess frequently. Jess supports that as well. So at this point in time, she would be, you know, helpful to Jess with the finance piece if Jess ever won the lotto and decided to retire.
That's the only reason you'd retire.
Well, I usually say because I get hit, if I get hit by a bus, but I like the
It's a lot more positive. You don't want
We
that
need, we need to,
Yes,
we need to change that hit by a bus analogy.
we are.
You win the lotto.
Yeah, we'll win the lotto. But this position, this change for Tammy, you know, I fully support because she's made herself invaluable. And the fact that she will now be branching into the finance and helping with those things and learning that first line of finance is going to be huge for us.
Does anybody want to speak about this on Monday, or do you want me to just kind of blow through it on the agenda? So I'm just happy to do either.
I mean, if there's questions or concerns from other board members,
No, I
I'm happy, I'm gonna be in attendance, so I'm
Okay.
happy to speak on it.
I just mean positively, like, would you like me to reach out to you if you'd like to speak about it? So, okay. 'Cause I'll make-
If I have reception, I'll say something as well.
Okay,
I'm hoping I should have reception.
okay,
Thank you.
okay. Next one is 227 bids for the Canandaigua Town Hall renovations project. Hopefully I'll be better than this on Monday. The renovations project. I thought we were doing a lot of this in-house. What part, do we know what part this is for?
Oh, the town hall remodel as a whole, we are not doing in-house.
Okay, we're not, okay, so it's gonna be overseen by MRB and, okay. All right,
I'm correct, right? You just.
I'm assuming. Yeah, we're gonna do the outside work with Paul Bush and put some sidewalk.
It's a jury.
will that be your laborers?
As far as the interior goes,
shrubbery.
we're not doing anything.
No, it's all.
Okay.
Mike's office.
From moving the major equipment, we're bringing somebody in to do that and put it in pods and store it. So yeah, even from that point, we're bringing in outside to do it.
Cool. Resigning, Bob Hillard resigning from the ZBA, any questions? Were you on the ZBA with him at the same time?
No, I've never been in ZBA planning.
Oh, you were with Andy Burke
No, Bob's been in
John Casey
PBA
was
for
on
a few years.
CBA when,
with him, okay.
because, yeah, Bob's been there, it looks like according to our records, 10 years.
Yeah.
He's on the ordinance committee too. for a
He
number of
was,
years.
Yeah.
On the next resolution, number 229,
Mhm.
is written so that Jason Outhouse will be moved from the alternate position into a full position.
Yep.
He'll be, it's written so that he can be appointed to fill Bob's unexpired term.
Mhm.
There's also text in there to, move Bob into the alternate position.
Okay,
That might be changing. I don't
Okay.
believe he would like to do that. I'm waiting for confirmation on that, but that resolution might need to be amended. I got this information after. I got this on Tuesday, so,
okay,
it just to give you a heads up. So it would basically just be removing any text in there about filling the alternate position.
it looks like that, is that primarily in that second to last paragraph there? Just
Yeah, I
that.
tried to keep the whereas is separate to do,
Mhm.
not all in the same sentence.
So it's the be it further resolved before the final, be it finally resolved.
Yeah, the last whereas.
Oh, I
and
see,
the-
and has expressed an interest.
And the
What is that? Is that a?
spider. So
That was your job, John.
Actually,
Honestly. These are part of the reasons why. Let the record show that a fighter attacked.
It's just like, what?
Sorry, please continue.
The last
How
whereas,
much it
and
ran
then I
on
think we'll
public
be it further.
video.
Yes.
If those two were struck
Strike that.
from the resolution, that would solve that. Again.
Is it that whole paragraph for the last whereas, the whole thing?
Yes,
Okay, so just let me know if those two need pulled from it, so.
okay, I will hopefully have some more information today, but it might. Nadler might bring you that information on at the meeting, we'll figure it out, we're just trying to get some.
I think we should make Nadler work here the Friday before the town board meetings in our office. That's what we should do. All right, anyway, next one, ECB resignation from Eric Obenauer, who he will be missed. He's been a good ECB member.
Yeah, it's
so.
another board member that's been pretty active.
Has anyone expressed an interest in filling either of those positions?
Not yet, but I'm working with Kim to get some language in our newsletter like we have done in the past when we have openings, just letting people know what the positions entail and.
I'll reach out to people as well then that might be.
Yeah, so we're most likely looking for an alternate for the zoning board and at the very least, we're looking for some ECB positions.
Got it.
feel like
How
Also
many-
ag
Do we have
committee.
2 on ECB?
Can't remember.
I love
think
when
there's
we
2.
have a very obvious thing on our website that indicates what positions are open for community representation.
Yeah,
On
I'll
these
make sure
boards,
those
but
get on there,
also
too.
on committees too, because that is definitely one of the more frequent questions I get from
Usually put it
people.
on Lindsay's
We
job
could do a-
opportunity.
Yeah.
Post if somebody bring a list of everything.
Yeah.
open to.
It's just, that's the one thing, I mean, if people, what can I do? I'd like to work with, I get that all the time, and I'm like, wow. You're interested in ag, or you're interested in, environmental issues, whatever it may be, so, but. Do you like spending long nights talking about zoning? You know, like, what do you like? Okay, the maps one, we talked about this in the conservation easement meeting, so, did you want to speak to this at all?
Yeah, so our, sorry, guys. Our open space conservation team, does a variety of things, but everything relating to preservation of undeveloped habitat and riparian ecosystems, anything that is good for the natural resources in the town. Earlier this year, the board approved the open space policy. And some of the goals in our comprehensive plan include identifying parcels and land in the town that would be valuable to preserve, whether it be for parkland or just, natural resource protection. It kind of all falls underneath there. And one of the things that that group would like is, and which I also think the town board would be able to use this tool too, is to update some of our maps. So, we've got some protected land, whether through PDRs, also through parkland expansion, that render some of our maps obsolete, not obsolete, but they're just inaccurate now, and we would like to update that. And then we also have a map called Land Conservation Value, which is really useful. That group uses it, the planning board looks at it, I know the town board looks at it when you're thinking about buying land or protecting land. That is heavily weighted on parcel size, so only the largest parcels are seen as valuable. The open space team thought that another version of that map would be equally useful, not to replace it, but just to add more data that would remove that weighting factor of parcel size. So it just focuses on the value of the natural resources themselves. So, it would just look at the land regardless of how big it is, what kind of natural resources it could protect. Well, not what specifically, but that it could, and how, valuable it would be, which is useful if there are ever like a couple different parcels that could potentially be something that could get an easement on it or something like that. You might not know that they were valuable using that map if they were little.
Can I ask that when they do that, they reach out to Kevin Mulvaney and just make sure they get his input on that as well? 'Cause
Yeah,
he's-
so this proposal, I think, includes a meeting or two.
Good.
Obviously, we're gonna try and make it happen during the open space team, but anyone who has an interest will be encouraged. I mean, I would like more input from anyone who wants to come. Some of the updates are just strictly data. We have a couple new PDRs since those maps were created, we're gonna add it. Land Trust has the Vista project. It's not listed on the map, we're gonna add it. The McJanet Park expansion, all that. So those are, not really up, it's not, we don't have to have a discussion about those, but the one map, yeah.
Yeah, I would just like Kevin and the Parks Committee to be.
And some of
involved in
that map is just
discussion.
data driven too.
Yes.
But the weighting can be, the weighting factors can be subjective.
But I know the parks has specific zones and what have you that they would like to connect. I would love that to be reflected on that as well, so. For example, the area between McJanet and Ononda. Those I think are of higher value. For our town as well, so.
Yeah. Oh, and the budget.
1,800, yeah.
Oh.
Where did you decide to take that out of?
So the open space team had proposed doing this, and they had some money in their budget.
Okay,
And then I worked with Jess to try and find where the other money could come from, and there's another conservation line. It has the word ag committee in it, but it spans more than just the ag, and then this money would not impact that group. There was some money for another project that's not happening. So.
what was the other project?
Oh, I can't remember. Do you remember what it said? I think it was something to do with code for trees, which hasn't been worked on this year or last year, so. It was money I didn't think was gonna be used.
Hold update for trees.
Yeah.
Tree conservation.
There's no current proposal to write.
I think we talked about,
It was something.
ECB has been making a tree list. I think along with ag, and I think we talked about,
That's not this. though.
that's not that,
Mhm.
okay.
No, our town code doesn't have any language about forest preservation, like rules about you can't just go cut down a giant parcel trees without, and there had been discussion in the past about trying to figure out a way to put some language in here for that, but it hasn't, nothing's come up yet.
Put that on the list, I do want to do that, so.
And I
It's
didn't
not
think that would
ready.
happen this year, so I figured it
You're
was
right,
okay
it
to
won't
take
happen
that
this
money. So it's $1,800. The open space team already had $2,000, so
Okay,
this would cover that cost.
okay,
And Jess noticed that I have accidentally put in one of the plans twice. on the list of. So which plans would be affected?
Oh,
by the
yeah,
maps.
okay.
Are there only 3 plans then?
No, I think there were, but. Really?
But that's
Oh,
not
that's
like the plan, we're not, the
There was
town
another
board,
one.
in this resolution, the town board isn't accepting an update to those plans. It would happen after these maps are all created, because they're all part of plans, so the map plans would, I guess, technically have to be amended to include these new versions of the maps, because they're all adopted plans and official maps, so. I just wanted to write that in the resolution, so we're ready for that, so whenever this is done, I'll come back with another resolution identifying specific maps and which plans it's going to impact, so that they can still be official maps.
On Monday, do you want me to change the double plans that are listed there? Do you want me to?
Oh, yeah.
Change the
because
reso with
I
that?
accidentally pasted it.
I feel like there were 4 though.
Maybe I just wrote the wrong one.
I may not be right, but I feel like there was another one. I was looking, was the something with water? I could see where it is on the wall in there. If we were in there, you'd know the answer right now.
It's not the water master.
There was, I think there was a 4th, but at any rate, let me know and I will change it.
I mean, technically it impacts the comp plan, because comp plan references these maps, but they're
Yeah.
from other plans, so I don't know.
All right, just let me know for Monday. All right, any other questions on that one?
Nope.
All right, and then the last one is Deputy Town Clerk, Sarah Reeder. Looks like,
Yes.
when is she starting?
In 3 weeks.
Okay.
We don't have an exact start date yet.
Okay, great. Wonderful. Anything else you want to say on Sarah?
No, we had some excellent candidates for this round of deputy town clerk searches, so she was the best fit. Great
Awesome.
experience, great potential. She'll be really great for our residents.
Great. All right. I'm not sure if it's in the attachments yet, but I know John always likes to see resumes on these folks. Are they in the attachments at all or?
I have not gotten that write up from her yet,
Okay,
but I'll make sure to, once I do, I will email it out.
anything on the other ones that are in there at all or? I don't know if there's anything, I'm just mentioning it so that, I think it'll come up on Monday, so if there's anything you can provide in an email, obviously there's confidential information and things like that that don't need to be in here, but, okay, great, any other questions? All right, very good, thanks everybody for showing. I feel bad.